Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading from the r/EntitledPeople subreddit, so let's jump into it. Friends' family expected me to wait in a freezing car for hours on Christmas Day. This happened a couple of years ago, and I was recently reminded of it. My best friend is also my roommate, but this was a year or so before he moved in with me. His family are kinda jerks to him at times, so he barely associates with them anymore. He even spends Christmas with my family and not his own. Well, December of 2018, his aunt wanted him to come spend the afternoon at her house on Christmas Day for the holiday family get-together. She was practically begging because they hardly see him. But at the same time, none of them could give him a ride there. So I was requested to do it since he'd already be at my house for the holidays. I was totally fine with this, as by the afternoon on Christmas Day, my family's holiday get-together generally breaks up because my sister and brother-in-law would take their kids and go to his parents' house. I had no problem saying I'd drive my friend to his aunt's house as long as the roads weren't too bad. It was freezing outside after all. Well, after making the arrangement, my friend's family actually said that they didn't want me to come inside their house when I bring him over. They expected me to wait for hours outside in my freezing cold car on Christmas Day. I was pissed, and my friend was beyond pissed. He got on the phone and chewed out his aunt, saying that if I wasn't welcome inside, then he wouldn't be there. Well, his aunt did not take this well, and acted like he was the one being completely unreasonable, since she didn't know me. Yet, I've met multiple relatives of his, and they all know me fairly well, especially his cousin, who would also be there. This went on for a couple of days, until the aunt finally caved and said I could join them inside. The key factor was my friend's cousin vouching for me, even though my friend vouched for me for days already. Even his cousin's boyfriend was invited there. They broke up a year later, yet they literally wanted me to wait outside in the cold car with nothing to do while everything was closed because it was Christmas Day. Well, I was allowed to come in, and the party went for a lot longer than a couple of hours. Half the people there didn't really talk to me, but it was still a lot of fun. Eggnog, Christmas music, gabbing, presents, etc. I just tried to stay out of everyone's way most of the time. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad I got to join them, but I'm still a little peeved to this day that it took that much just for them to let me in, and I'd have otherwise been left to sit in a cold car for hours on end. And since that Christmas, my friend hasn't been invited back, even though one of his relatives could come get him. They've been asking him to come and see them for a day soon, and he's pretty on the fence about going. Not that I blame him. Who does this to someone? How can people be so bitter? If I were OP in that friend, I wouldn't have even gone at all. Gosh. This might just be because I'm Canadian and we are overly friendly with strangers and strongly live by the more the merrier philosophy, but for goodness sake, the more the merrier. I honestly don't think there's been one Christmas in my family where random friends or relatives haven't been there. We just adopt people if they have nowhere to be for Christmas. And when the Christmas Eve gauntlet gets passed to me one day, anyone is welcome to join. My kids as friends, their friends as siblings, relatives or in-laws, I do not care. Come on in. Great googly moogly. I do not understand how people like the ones in this story can be so cold to others. It's really sad. Why didn't you shovel out my parking spot while you were shoveling yours? So, a bit of backstory to set the stage. I live in a condo in a multi-unit residence. Each unit has 2 assigned parking spots, one right next to the building, and the second a ways away in the middle of the lot. One of my downstairs neighbors is an elderly lady with an approximately 40-year-old son who lives with her. She parks next to the building, and he parks in the spot in the center. She is not disabled, but is temporarily using a walker after slipping on some ice. I live by myself, so I just use my one spot near the building and let the second one sit vacant. So today it snowed, and we do have a plow that comes through. However, instead of moving my car, it's actually less disruptive to my life to just brush my car off and shovel the snow into the main thoroughfare for the plow to collect. I work from home, so I rarely drive. While I was out shoveling, this lady comes out and asks if I can clear her out as well. It's not much extra work, so I'm like, sure, I'll help you out. After clearing my car off and shoveling the snow around her car out into the main area, I start to head back upstairs. She comes out and asks why I didn't finish the job. I stare at her absently for a good 5 seconds as my brain struggles to process the question before I finally manage, what job? She complains that I didn't brush her car off before shoveling her spot out. So now, if her son brushes the car off, it'll mean there's more snow on the ground. And then complains that I didn't do any work at all clearing her son's car. And to recap, yes, she said her son brushes the car off. So at no point did she indicate she would do any work of any sort, only that her son would. Again, I understand she slipped on some ice, so maybe her butt was sore, but she wasn't disabled, and her son is perfectly capable himself. I know he has a job and drives and such, so why is any of this my concern? I lean on the shovel and stare at her for about 10 seconds before she grows uncomfortable and asks, "Why are you staring like that?" So I say, I live alone, own one car, shoveled myself out, and out of the kindness of my heart, cleared out your car so you can get in. You live with an adult son who owns his own vehicle, is perfectly capable of shoveling both himself and yourself out. Now you're complaining that I didn't do all the work despite having zero stake in your situation, and you don't understand why I might be absolutely gobsmacked by all of this? I could see the hamster wheel spinning. Then her face brightens as if she just discovered a glaring loophole in some cosmic law that will compel me to do her bidding.
But you have that second spot you never use. Why don't you just shovel that out so my son can use it?
I say nothing more and continue to lean on my shovel with a deadpan expression. After another few moments, she turns around and wordlessly waddles back indoors. I'd like to think she realized she was acting like an idiot, but at least she recognized that I wasn't going to play ball. So yeah, this is going to be a fun winter, I'll bet. I love how this OP handles idiots. Just stare at them blankly until they go away. Making Karens uncomfortable seems to be the perfect defense mechanism. Me personally though, being the petty human that I am, would start shoveling all the snow from my parking spots directly into their parking spot. But anyways, that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed those 2 entitled people stories. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!